and it's going straight.
Well, I think the good part, I think the part of that that's as good as you hit everything kind of in that fashion. So, you know, I'll control the up and the down, you control the left and the right. That's how it seems to be.
Yeah, that's a good team.
Yeah. Okay, guys, welcome back. Absolutely delighted to be at our West Coast home here at Ace Performance Centre. Today we have a huge treat for you guys. We're going to be doing a follower fitting with a very friendly face to our team here in Vancouver, Chris Young. Yeah. Chris, nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice seeing you.
We've met one time before when you were out here when we first opened the facility, which was almost exactly a year ago, and it's fantastic to be back. We're doing an open house today, but more importantly, we're going to be looking at your clubs today.
Okay.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your game. Let's tell the audience a little bit about you as a golfer.
Yeah, this year has probably been the best year that I've had so far. My game is improved by about three indexes.
And what was your starting point? Because from an 18 to a 15 in a lower handicap to an even lower handicap is quite different.
Yeah, so I was probably at the beginning of the year running around a point, say a 1.
Right.
And today, right now, it's at a plus 1.8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
so I dropped a couple.
That's an incredible.
I've been playing some really good golf lately.
Wow. Well, you were telling the boys that I heard as I was kind of getting us set up here. You've added to the trophy cabinet.
Yes.
You are a club champion.
Yeah. Finally won my major.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I won the senior clubs champion this year.
Amazing.
So, super happy.
Congratulations. And it sounds like you've been doing what every golfer should, which is turning over every rock and seeing where you can find gains. Equipment, I'm sure, technique, everything that we have here at the Ace Performance Centre, whether it's fitness, whether it's tuition, whether it's club fitting, you've been looking at all of that.
Yeah, probably, last year I got fit for a driver shaft.
Right.
And from obviously club champion. And that has definitely turned the game around. And then 2 weeks later, we came in and got some irons. I got fitted for irons. I've never been fitted for irons before, and that's probably been the biggest difference to my game.
Yeah, you love to tinker with your clubs. You like to mess around a little bit. I mean, you do some of your own custom work, and you actually help us out with some custom work, which is amazing. Richard, our sort of owner of the Ace Performance Centre, was telling us you do some stuff for him with customization and wedges.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like stamping, engraving, paint fill, ferrules,
amazing.
All that.
Chris is your man. Okay, so what is your focus today? We've got clubs that are working well, as you say. You've got the driver dialed. The irons have been great. Where do you feel the opportunities lie in the bag?
3-wood, and I'm contemplating changing a 2-iron to maybe like you're mentioning a hybrid or 7-wood or 5-wood or just. I need something that I want something that's hopefully more carry, less run out.
Right. Okay.
Per se. It
seems like when we get to talk to better players, the one part of the bag where it's a bit of a revolving door can be this part of the bag between the driver and as it transitions to the irons. And trying to find that comfort level is not easy. And when people do, that's why you see old 3-woods in people's bags, because when you find one you love, you just stick.
Yeah.
Right. You don't mess with that. Yeah. So it sounds like you're still trying to find that sort of one true love when it comes to the fairway wood.
3-wood has probably been the worst club in the bag.
Is it?
Ever. Okay. Right? So I'm slowly kind of found one, but I just feel I need, it's not sticking.
Yeah.
It's like running out.
It's coming in a little bit
hard. Yeah, a little low.
Okay. Well, why don't we kind of hit a couple of irons, get familiar with your delivery and what your tendencies are. Then we'll get into 3-wood, and then we'll come down to 2-iron as well. I know you were keen to look at. Okay. I've measured both of them for specs. They actually have quite an interesting sort of setup in terms of the swing weight and stuff like that. So we'll get into a little bit of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So is that the way you see your game, Chris? Yeah, everything pretty much left to right, a little bit of a draw, and just about everything.
I like to see it. I want to know my miss.
Yeah.
So when I got set up, we made it so that my miss would be a draw.
Got it.
I haven't tinkered with that yet.
Yeah, and you've done some interesting things. And was the discovery into the Jumbo Max grips, was that on your own? Was that a little bit of trial and error?
Yeah, it was kind of a trial and error thing. Someone else, a friend, had the grips, and I grabbed it, and that felt good. Like I had to manipulate it too much in my hands.
Sure.
So
What glove size are you out of interest?
medium large.
Medium large. Yeah, you can definitely tell like hand size and stuff like that is. Yeah, a standard grip would seem like it would be a little on the small side for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, there's not too many visits to the left side of the golf course.
No, trying to eliminate it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Awesome. Well, I mean, again, let's just kind of like, if we look at your sort of delivery on average, and we say you're definitely a bit of a compressor when it comes to the irons, so there's a decent angle of attack from a loft perspective with the irons. So you're delivering 23 degrees of dynamic loft with a 7-iron, which is, I mean, pretty close to 10 degrees of lean.
Yeah.
Which is, again, tell me you're getting a ton out of the iron in terms of ball speed. Does that sound about right, the way you like to see the game, kind of flying it forward?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't generally hit a high ball, more a piercing
Got it.
shot.
And where I can see that you've found some real success with, obviously, the driver, you get the opportunity to elevate the ball in the tee. You get a chance to do some different things that set up with the ball position being forward and shoulder tilts and stuff. Whereas 3-wood somewhat takes that away because we drop the ball to the ground again, and your default tendency will be then to get into it with a bit of shaft lean and a bit of a downward strike. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
because when I hit the 3-wood, it's just like a low bullet most of the time.
And it's one of the benefits of using sort of our launch monitors as they are. I could watch you hit 6 or 7 shots and really start to build that framework of, I know your game now. Like, I know the conditions that you thrive in. If there's a bit of wind, you'll probably eliminate half the field who hit the ball up there and have that high floaty ball flight where you're really comfortable hitting it through the wind with your piercing ball flight. That's a great situation for you.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. It's that helps.
Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, good. Why don't we just get straight into the driver? Sorry, 3-wood. I'd love to see that top of the bag and see what's going on. In fact, I've got some stickers on there already.
On there?
We're all good.
Okay. That's the one thing I've always been I've been trying to do with the 3-wood lately, like you're saying, is trying to get elevation.
Yep.
Not hit down on it too much, but it's
How much do you know about, and I'll be honest, these are the most fun fits for me. See if I'm working with someone like you and you bring me something like that, and I would say maybe 8 out of 10 times, the player maybe stumbled across a setup like that, and I think you'd be different because you love your equipment, but half the time people don't know what they've got. So a shaft that's the UST a task for you, most people don't know what that shaft was, but like it's striking and it's kind of, Hulk green color and
I like the green.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you know about it in terms of the shaft profile?
The shaft profile, I think it's got like a medium to stiff butt, but it's got it's about like 3.8 torque tip, so it's a soft tip.
Little
to
softer
help
tip. It's
get the
designed
ball,
to kick it up a
designed to
little
get it
more.
up,
Yeah.
right. I had it in my driver before,
Right.
and then I didn't got fit and whatever previous, and so then I just said I'll pull it out again and try it, and then I've always used the 3-woods that didn't have a lot of adjustment.
Yeah.
So this one I added it to play like a 16 degree.
Yeah, I see that you've turned it up a little bit. So you're at B2 right now, which is 15.75.
Yeah.
And you're a little bit on the upright setting again, just to make sure you're turning to the right.
Yep.
Was it intentional to go a little bit over length?
No, I hadn't. Actually, my old 3-wood was the same length.
Yeah.
And I just I found if I played it full length, I'd get a big draw. But if I choked back down, more straight.
Yeah.
So I like
something for us to look at today in terms of length and
play around with that.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Just the longer we make it, potentially we can have the club head behind us a little bit more, and then we sort of maybe start shaping it. The more we get the path going left, the face has to shut down in order to have the face to path relationship we want. When we get that face to rotate too much, we lose dynamic loft. So in your case, it actually would be slightly better to lose a little bit of that path to the left in order to retain a little bit that dynamic loft for you to get the airtime we need. Okay, let's hit a few more with this one.
Let's see what this does.
Yeah, let's see where it's at. Swing. Love that. There's lots to like about that one, Chris.
Again, I like the right miss.
Yeah. So TSI, 3-wood head, you've got the weight in the heel. Again, so some people looking at this will go, oh, Chris's misses on the right-hand side. In actual fact, you love to see it going to the right-hand side. The worry would be if you started seeing some go left, then you probably that would frustrate you or maybe concern you that you're going to have the two-way miss.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't, I put it in there and I haven't tried it. I just put this together and I haven't tried it in the neutral position.
Setting.
So that might straighten that out a little
Something
bit.
maybe we could look at, yeah.
Right. But for now, I know it's going to kind of go right. For the most part.
Now, was that heely?
Yeah.
That was a slight heely
Kind
one.
of skinny.
Okay. When you're on quad or trackman, do you see your path going right?
Yeah, I'm more out to in. I'm trying to go in to out.
Yeah, yeah, that's good because I was wondering there just because I saw the first three of the four first swings you made were in to out, and I kind of thought that with your setup, that's what I would see, and it stayed super neutral, so I really just call it a zero path, which it was.
I've been really trying to work on that to go from the swing to left field for me. I played a lot of hockey and was a defenseman, so I slap shot. So I'd always
that's your dominant move.
Do that, right? Was a slap shot. So when you're slap, I'm kind of coming out to in more than
that looks like your
out.
golf swing, doesn't it? Like that's what it looks like you do.
Yeah.
So you kind of go that way,
that's
sort of at it.
Yeah, that's why my irons are so compressed, but my woods are kind of. You want the opposite kind of sort of, especially with the driver. You want to hit up. When I first got fit for a driver a long time ago, I was like a -4 attack, and I was getting no resistance. So now I'm kind of maybe a +1 or a 0.
Okay.
So I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to change that, yeah. And I've added distance because of that as well, and with the fitting, right?
So as we look at the first few fairway woods that we've hit here, we definitely would see a challenge in that your delivery characteristics are a little bit down on the angle of attack with a reasonable amount of dynamic loft. So in actual fact, what we end up with is low launch, high spin, which makes us lean a little bit on how the clubs manufacture and where they place center of gravity. Ultimately, we need a very low center of gravity here for you. Something that allows us even a centered strike from a symmetrical standpoint, so relative to the top and the bottom of the head. We have some companies that if we hit it in the middle symmetrically, it will actually be above the CG of the golf club, right?
Okay.
So the geometric center. So we want the head for you always doing a little bit of that, always tilting slightly up. The minute we get a deeper head and we start hitting it low, you mentioned a couple of times you hit a couple of thin ones, and we get that head tilting down, and we start getting the gear effect working against us. We need the gear effect working in our favor when it comes to fairway. And I think that could be our biggest ally today, is trying to pick a head that has the right CG location. So I've got a couple in mind that I think we can get that launch up, but maybe even bring that spin down, retain or increase the ball speed, and that's where the 3-wood will start to sort of increase some gains for you.
Yeah, perfect.
All right? Love it.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do. And that's the interesting thing, like, you know, a lot of people, for the longest time, like Tiger went into that shaft because it was considered to be exceptionally tip stiff, but he tipped it a ton to be that way. So, you know, when he was playing that in his Nike VR, it was to try and basically eliminate the left side. When he was, if you remember that time, he was working with Foley, and they were working on what kind of everyone was calling stack and tilt at that time. It wasn't quite stack and tilt, but Tiger was steeper in his driver, so the idea was actually to create a little bit more launch out of it, and that's where the DI came from.
Okay, yeah. That one was kind of centerish.
I like that one. That had your DNA written all over it, that one, ball flight wise.
Yeah.
That was really, really nice. One of the first things you and I talked about was establishing a strike point that was above the center of gravity to increase launch and decrease spin. If we go into look at the page here, we've done exactly that. So the shallower profile of the AI Smoke Max is giving us the chance to hit it up in that kind of almost that top groove.
Yeah.
And it feels like that's where we get the launch from, right? I think that'll be
that one felt
nice.
like really good when I hit it.
So over in the numbers, we've increased launch up to 11.5 and decreased spin. Now, I think we can still play with that a little bit more. We can maybe get that spin down, maybe another 200 or 300 RPM and just flatten out that. So still have the peak, but we can flatten out this sort of apex and just have a tad more carry.
Okay.
So let's look for that. But really, really pretty nice as a starting point with that one.
That felt pretty good.
Wow. So there's that ball speed jump that we sort of talked about. If we can get the right sort of relationship and compression. 143. We did carry a tad of spin. Let's see if that was, it was just strike point moved down ever so slightly. That's all good. Let's hit a couple more. Love that. That was a nice flight. How's that feeling?
Good.
I mean, it looks great.
Yeah,
it really
feels
does.
good.
Okay, so as we got you to hit a few more, interestingly enough, and this can often be the case, you somewhat revert to type with your ball flight. So you kind of figure out a way in which you can sort of get the sort of steepness of the angle of attack down a little bit. And we catch a few more of the higher spinners. I'm not discouraged by that at all. I think that's just who you are as a golfer, and we'll work around that. One thing I really like about what the Callaway head is doing, and I actually think they may have separated themselves in the field with this, the standard deviation across the face on these Callaway heads is outrageously good. I think when we talk about the use of AI technology that they've got for the way they create their face now with the supercomputer, it's kind of hard to match what they're doing with that, to be honest. And we see it. So it's sort of about a third or 2/3 better in the form of standard deviation on spin. So less sort of surprises when it comes to how you perform. Let's look at golf ball for a second with this combination. Let's look at Left Dash Pro V1X. I know that's a ball you've been using this summer. Let's hit a couple with that one.
Okay.
Beautiful. Oh, you're just showing off trying to dunk them for 50 yards, Chris.
Hey, you get lucky once in a while, right?
The harder you practice, the luckier you get. Is that what Gary Player said? Okay, so let's look at that, because I think making a little change, I mean, we're not far away pretty early on here. We're really not. So I'll kind of leave yours in. I'll leave the one we quite liked. We were gaining ball speed, but we didn't quite have the right launch conditions. And then we can look at what we've sort of got with a little golf ball change. So we can starting point, and then we got some good stuff going on here, and then we made some modifications to get it that little bit better. So now we can take this one out because we've improved upon it. And now it looks a little bit different. So we've got that launch up. We've got that spin right where we wanted it. And that was what we talked about, trying to get into, from the 3600 spin one we liked, we talked about 200-300 RPMs less. We're kind of there with that one now. I really, really like that window. I'm going to give you that 1 degree of loft back just to see. Just to see if we can get that launch. And now that we've got the golf ball doing something a little bit different. Beauty.
That was a good one.
Beauty.
Feels good.
Yeah, I mean, we're really not far away there at
Yeah.
all. And we just kind of continue to refine and make those marginal gains. And now sort of, well, I think with the 17 setting, we get that launch up over 11. I love that. We've kept the spin under 3,500, which I wasn't sure if we would do that. I wondered if the spin would sort of like spike on us again, and we might start seeing 38 to 4,000. But I think the golf ball mitigates that. I think it kind of keeps it in order. So we gain that, you know, nice amount of carry distance. We're gaining sort of up around 15, you know, 17, you know, yards, something like that. That's at your level. You talk about how hard it is to make those gains when you get as good as you are. It's not easy, but I think 3-wood is probably coming in today where you felt like you maybe could make a little bit of a jump on where you were at.
Yeah, definitely. That was the whole thing. I think, you know, getting fit by you, that would really help get some gains. So that I would like, you know, 17, which is, I was hoping
joke,
10.
isn't it? I know.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is this is only our first couple of tries.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can do even better. Because if that's where it ends up, I'll be happy. I'll be honest. I'll be more than happy if that ends up being the result. But you know, we've got some other great options here to try, and I think let's see if there's something that can even beat that.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris.
Okay.
Club number 2, Titleist GT2. We've got it playing 16.5 degrees aloft. Sounded good.
That was hit.
Sounded really good. Looked like it had a completely different apex, that one. Let's see if we did. We always go back to, you know, yours and leave that up there as the baseline, right? So, you know, we saw the blue trajectory come a bit above yours in terms of apex, but then we look at something like this. So when we get the chance to launch it at 12.5, that's another way of looking at this that could be really advantageous. So we've turned this up in loft. We can obviously bring that back down if we have room, and that'll aid the ball speed as well. But I do like to see the ball launching like that for you.
Yeah, I like it.
Nice. Okay, let's hit a few more.
And it's going straight.
Well, I think the good part, I think the part of that that's as good as you hit everything kind of in that fashion. So, you know, I'll control the up and the down. You control the left and the right. That's how it seems to be.
Yeah, that's a good team.
Yep. Good too. You're making really good contact with this one.
Thanks. A little slappy. Still went though.
Yeah, it did. It had the thing that stands out to me is just that launch. If you'd asked me, would we be able to get launched to 13 and keep spin under 35, I would have probably said, nah, I don't think so. But with this one, it's you know, we're seeing that. Let's see if there was a ball speed. No, it's been consistent on ball speed. So Callaway was consistently higher on ball speed by a couple of miles an hour, 2 miles an hour, but the Titleist has been...
This has got a little more loft, right? This is 1
actually
degree
half
more?
less.
Oh, half less?
Yeah, so this is 16.5 and the Titleist was, so Callaway was at 17.
Oh.
Let's go one down though, in order, because we've got that little bit of launch to play with. So let's bring it back down. Okay, I'm going to go back down one more. You're finding it so easy to launch this thing.
Yeah.
But we're not quite seeing sort of the ball speed where we saw it. The Titleist is having a hard time hanging with the Callaway for speed. So 140, even as we decreased loft there, the launch conditions stayed the same for the most part. So let's come back down. Let's just go sort of D4, which is lefty standard.
Standard.
See what we get. When we look at the delivery numbers, when we look at our GC quad, one of the fun things to explain to people is that static loft doesn't reflect delivered loft. So we can give you, in this case, we just gave you 15.7 degrees of loft, and you actually delivered more than you would if you had 17 degrees of loft with the Callaway. So projected loft and static loft are very, very different depending on obviously the head type. So it's very important as a fitter or as a player or as a coach to look at this number and only live and die by this in terms of loft.
Okay. Yeah.
What I've got that set, I don't really, doesn't bother me, right? Because it's irrelevant. However much you deliver is the only part that matters. So the fact that we've got that sitting a little bit above where we would call right now ideal, you know, we do want to gain that advantage.
They're slowly
back on
coming
ball speed.
down.
Yeah. I would say if we can get that sitting maybe above 19, but a little under 19.8, that's where the ball speed will come back from.
Okay.
If I wasn't the one doing the fitting, I would think we've missed a step on the loft because we went from delivering, as we said, 20 degrees of loft to delivering 18 and under. And it's almost like we missed out one of the settings that would allowed us to get to that 19 because the ball flights really came down with this one. Yeah, we got that ball speed jump that we wanted, but we kind of lost the launch that was good, and we increased the spin a little bit. So don't know if it was quite. I still think that one is the one to beat so far.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was close with this, but it didn't quite get there.
As a heel. Oh, wait.
Yeah, immediately I don't like. I don't
one
like
was
this
hit.
one. It just doesn't have the same look of
No.
even having the potential to get to where we've already been. So, which is good. That's the benefit of starting the bar high early is that you can make quick calls like that's not it. Back to I want to do round 2 with this one. Right.
That was a good one.
Very good. And those last two just are so good, especially the second last one. I've not seen the numbers in this one yet. The last one was 11.3 launch, 2,900 spin, had your little draw to it, 142.5 ball speed. Missed that one a hair out on the toe, which is where we lost a fraction of speed. But, I mean, we're a good few shots into this session, so your club head speed is just failing a little bit. Do you want one more go around with that GT2?
Yeah, try one.
I think so.
Try one more.
Be curious just to see. At that B2 setting, it doesn't, as I say, like if I feel like that launch should have came down more at B2 setting. So let's just run one more loop. Good. That looks like you.
That one felt better. Yeah, that was good.
That was really good. Similar. Good. Nice, really nice. This is an interesting one, dynamic lie angle. For you to be dynamically toe down would not be a good thing for somebody who wants to turn it over.
Yeah.
So again, that might be one of those little marginal wins that we try and kind of take. And obviously with that cog, we have lie-in loft angle capability that we can change it that little bit more. So I didn't think this would happen, but I've kind of swayed towards the GT2.
Yeah, yeah. Like
it just felt like it was so easy to get the up portion.
Definitely
of that one.
feels easier to swing for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's the look of it, but and it does feel a little more. I like the more solid hit feel to it. Like
Okay. Hey Chris, we're going to run through a couple other shafts that we had identified. We do love the DI. I really think it'll be hard to get you out of that one at this point. But let's run through Ventus Red and then Acra TZ6.
Okay.
That was nice.
That was pretty good.
Strong. Strong. Good.
We'll go one more.
Yep. I think one of the most interesting things was the movement of the strike away from the middle and into the toe, and certainly not something that is we really want to get. So if you have the path going a little bit out to in, but you kind of manage the face to path really, really nicely in order to produce a pretty nice straight shot or even a little bit of a draw, the last thing we want to add in there is the unknown of the gear effect from the toe strike, and then we get it starting right and going further right. So that one scares me a little bit. There was a couple of them that were actually really quite well struck, but
not the consistency.
Not the consistency. That's the right way to look at it. The standard deviation on spin went quite a bit up, and it kind of seemed to come out a little bit flatter as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. With TZ6.
Skinny.
Got something going on with it. Just a gear in this one that just that first one was 146 ball speed, which we haven't seen that yet. You kind of look at those like they're misses, Chris, and like they're I'm not quite happy. And then the thing lands like 5 feet from the hole. That was really good as a miss. Nice, really nice. This one doesn't seem far away.
No.
Does it feel okay?
Yeah. Just feels a little more rigid.
The torque's a bit lower.
Yeah.
TZ6 was built off of a really iconic bend profile that really built the Acra brand on tour. And sort of they tried to recreate it within the TZ6 line. So the torque is a little bit lower, but it has a little bit more of an active tip. It's a shaft that Cameron Champ has loved.
Yeah.
So, you know, for him, he obviously needs to feel stability under the handle.
It's really...
You feel how stiff that is in the handle.
It is,
It's a larger butt size as well, so you've got a little bit more stability under there.
Okay, yeah, it feels really stable. Like you can, obviously for him, can really rip at it. I gave that one a little extra. still goes even on
It's
my
got some,
missus.
yeah, it's got gears. This thing is definitely, again, there's something about the delivery with the DI was just a better delivery.
Yeah.
When you move the path sort of 7 degrees to the right, that's where we're getting that one that starts more to the right. So
Yeah.
I don't love
No.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with that as the outcome. DI6S at B2 setting. So 0.75 up and loft and a little bit more upright as well, which I think will help us just with that kind of ability to turn that over. I think that'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, Chris, that was fun. I mean, we got to such a good point early with that Callaway head. I didn't think we'd be changing our mind, but as soon as you hit that GT2 and we saw that launch, that effortless launch that we talked about at the start, maybe giving you that, you know, other alternative option on the golf course, that was something we had to explore a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I think, guys, you're seeing in a fit like this today the real benefit of the loft sleeves as well. So you've got a head like AI Smoke Max. We never even looked at neutral setting in that one. I don't think we were either 1 degree or 2 degrees above the standard. So we ended up, that one was 17 degrees. The GT2, because it had more ease of launch, actually we got that one down to 15.75. But we just had so many options with Chris, with whether it's loft or lie independently within those loft sleeves. It's a massive advantage, isn't it? You think back to the bonded golf club days of, and some companies still, unfortunately for them, because I don't think they do very well, they still make bonded fairway woods and things like that. And I think time has moved on from that.
Yeah, definitely. You want some, because everyone swings different,
Yeah.
right? And like just showed that dynamic loft is everything.
It absolutely is. Yeah, just being able to tweak it within little subtle. I mean, it might be less than a degree we're trying to move it, but that's where perfection lies. You know, is in those little marginal gains, those little details. You talked about it early on. You actually might look at different conditions or different setup depending on whether it's winter, whether it's summer. Is the ball running? Do we need to carry it a little bit further? I think the GT2 gives you that good option too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I
Excellent.
like the ball flight
Love
and
it.
the feel.
Great work. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. I think fairway wood fits are something we've not probably done enough of on the channel over the years, and we've actually had the chance to do them back-to-back days. We had one of our Toronto shoots we had yesterday, and we done a fairway wood fit, and doing another one with Chris today. It kind of reinforces for me the value of what we need to kind of, you guys to know about dialing in a fairway wood. I think it's a hard club to get right for a lot of golfers,
Yeah,
Chris.
definitely.
It's
It's usually the
easiest
worst
one.
club in the bag.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, that's what they say. The longest, least lofted club that you've got to hit off the ground is always going to be a hard club to fit for someone. So you can see a little bit of our process here, and hopefully that inspires you guys to get out and go for a fit yourself and get dialed in like Chris.
Great.
Excellent.
Thanks very much.
No problem at all. My pleasure.
That's awesome.
I'm excited to be back here and kind of looking at your bag this time next year and seeing where the handicap and what the trophy cabinet looks like then.
I hope so.
I know.
Great.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know in your comments what you would like us to sort of do in terms of follow-ups and fittings like this. We'd love to hear from you guys if you'd like us to dive into other details around the fitting process. Happy to hear it. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you again soon.